Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, in the name of God, the most benevolent, the most merciful. A'udhu billah shaitan rajim. May God guide us to the direct path. Excuse me. A'udhu billah shaitan rajim. May God protect us from the cursed one and unnecessary ignorance. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. All praise due to the Lord of the worlds. Rabbi Ighfirli, my Lord, forgive me for all the sins that I am conscious of and unconscious of. Ihdina Sirat al-Mustaqim, my Lord, guide me to the direct path and guide this lecture. It is okay to exist. My fellow species, I find you today to let you know that the future has surprises waiting for us. That none of us know who we will become. To contextualize this lecture, you're listening to a Muslim futurist You're listening to someone who is Muslim because they consider truth to be outside of the simulation of reality. You're listening to a futurist because when I wondered what are human beings living for, it became obvious that you're all employed by your future selves. And everybody is living for the future. The future cannot be avoided any longer. I am a human being. I am a member of the human species. I cannot ignore the future of the human species. The reason I am reporting back to my species tonight is simply because the future of all of us is of value to me. When I say it is okay to exist, it is simply because you matter beyond your comprehension. Ladies and gentlemen, a lot of my pauses are because I'm super nasally. But I'll be honest, this lecture is pretty much, I guess, one soul looking at the spirit of mankind. And I want to make the argument that none of us know our true value, and that if you were to truly evaluate or truly wonder about the values that human beings live through, you will be fascinated how different it is than the game of the character in the story you are, or you're telling yourself you are. You see, this world is like a sine wave. It has peaks and it has troughs. It is not a perfect system. Theologically speaking, you're neither in an angelic heaven and you're neither in a beastly hell. We're somewhere in the middle. And the possibilities of you, like, I want to explain something to you, and if you understand this, you'll understand this whole lecture. When I say it's okay to exist is because there are intense moments in, I think, all human lives where it's a struggle of not external meaning, but it's a struggle of internal meaning. And really, yes, life does work with values. I caught on to this. I gave a lecture called The Alphabet of Human Values. In the same way, you look at words and what letters they're made of. I was like, yo, look at these human beings. What values are they made of? And then I began to understand that the relationship of the human being, even though being conditioned now to the children as a noun, they're teaching you to yourself as a frickin' noun. You think you're a noun. Okay, that's the problem with the world. Okay, that it's not a noun, it's a frickin' verb, it's a film, it's a changing place, and in the middle of a changing place, we are trying to find a changeless identity. In other words, like a logical view on what eternity could be is simply the notion of the changeless. Okay, like I'll probably at some point in this talk read for you the statistics of what's going on in the human experience. But let me tell you, not only you as a person can break your heart, your species can break your heart. There are human beings right now, 100% right now that I'm speaking. There's 8 billion of us right now, 8 billion different DNAs, 8 billion different occupants in the space-time continuum. Nobody has your eyes, nobody has your DNA, nobody has your unique conditioning. And what I'm trying to get to is that you are in a very advanced place, and there is so many ways to give contextual meaning to conceptualization. In other words, the noobs in knowledge, they're just trying to look at concepts. I think those who are experienced in knowledge, they wonder about in what context is the concept activating in. Now, I'll give you an example. Imagine, I even went through this. I've had dark nights, you know. I've had existential panic attacks. Some of them I've even talked about in the lectures. I've had moments where the intensity and the overwhelmment of trying to expect perfection from all dimensions of my being has come to was too much of a force to bear. And because I care for my species, and I have even found a way to trick my ego into caring for the species. I don't need to even trick it. It's like there's a logic that kind of makes everything that is conscious care for its future. You see, ladies and gentlemen, what is different in my approach compared to some of yours who are listening is that I reached a moment in this lifetime. So I'm 33. I've lived around 12,000 days on this planet. Do you know what that means? That means 12,000 times I've woken up and I'm like, another new day. My God, another new day. After 12,000 times of having new days, something happens to you. I don't know how it hasn't happened to others. You know, there was a time where I looked at this world and I'm like, what is this? Are we evolving to the brink of insanity just to realize we were never what we were identifying with? What is going on here? And in some sense, what is the conduct of the species? What is the greatest performance of mankind while he's here? What is the exact situation? And once you look at it from different angles, you will feel ashamed of how you judged yourself during the dark nights of the soul. I am speaking to anybody on this planet who has had a thought of, in some sense, avoiding reality or leaving reality. Let me explain something to very clear to all of you. Your eyes is not the ultimate. Our species is in denial of what it is actually in control of and what it actually knows. And I am telling you, when I realized there's a saying, this was one of the best things I've heard in this life. Somebody said, learn from the eagle. The eagle can land on a branch and look at reality specifically, or the eagle can fly into the sky and see the whole forest at once. When I say it's okay to exist, is because I am trying to get you as a human being, culturally conditioned in your own world, to fly off the branch that you have identified with and look at the whole forest at once and then decide what sort of human being you want to be. And so the question is, okay, you know, let's say you're just going based on your own analysis. That means it's, think of life as, in some sense, an event, an unknown event that's happening, and we are using methods to know this unknown event, and the way we know it is that we value it. And a physical manifestation of value is containment and measurement. What I'm trying to tell you is that in the same way you can see values, you can see letters creating a word, I want you to imagine every person's life is a sentence. It's a phrase. It's one phrase. Your whole life can, like, you can give it to AI and AI would turn your whole life into a phrase. Okay? Now, I'm telling you, that phrase consists of, it's like the one reality of the phrase consists of multiple reality of words, and the multiple reality of words are all created by the same letters. Like, do you understand right now? For example, I'm speaking English right now. There is 26 letters to the alphabet. There's 26 letters to the alphabet. And currently in the English language, there is 600,000 words, and like 100 words increase every year. So 26 letters have led to 600,000 words. And when I think about 8 billion human beings being poured into the containment of a world room, into the container of a world room, I ask myself, how many ways are there that 8 billion human beings can react? Do you know what I mean? That means it's like you're playing a level of a video game 8 billion times. Okay, after these 8 billion times, one in these 8 billion will do something unexpected. And I think the reason we are, in some sense, there was an incredible argument. There's like, yo, man, when there's billions of people, let's say there's 1,000 geniuses. Okay, when or sorry, let's say in every, let's say in a million, what's the term? Okay, the example is like this. Imagine one in a million per people is a genius. Okay, and there's 8 billion people. Yeah, so that makes it 8,000. I'm saying pretty much as the population increases, new variations to the human form emerge to contribute to civilization. I myself used to identify and to plant the flag of my life's meaning starting from myself. Like, if you ask me in the same way you ask someone how the engine of a car works, I can explain to you the mechanics of human perception. I think I may be one of the rare people on this planet that can do it, that has trained himself to do so. Okay? So let me tell you, if you were to ask me, okay, let me say it this way. Let me say that there was somebody, at the edge of somewhere they shouldn't be, and people, like, I'm not a negotiator. Do you know what I mean? I'm not like one of those people. I don't even consider myself capable of giving people therapy. Do you know? But But I do sometimes feel I have an ability to access viewpoints that may be in the blind spots of the moment or the species. Okay? And what I'm trying to do is I'll tell you my argument. If you want to know what my agenda is, okay, I'll tell you my agenda. My agenda is simply this. I want to know what the most advanced version of myself is before I die. I want to see the most advanced expression of my being before I leave this world room. Now, in order to do that, I must be one in an advanced world, in the most advanced place. That means I can't know how advanced I was if I'm advanced in a world where everybody else is unadvanced. Do you understand? So I have to, in some sense, advance everybody and then be like, what is my most advanced self now? So pretty much that renders me as a human being having no choice but to build an advanced civilization and then measure myself in accordance to an advanced context, not just make my life an advanced concept to myself and think that's spirituality. Ladies and gentlemen, you're going to notice a very important correlation between those who are closer to truth and those who are not. And the difference is responsibility. I will say this to you, and I acknowledge that right now I am saying this in the presence of a system admin watching me. I treat myself as a being in a simulated testing zone within a divine surveillance state, in the same way that if a politician was looking at an ant and giving a speech, the ant may not know what the politician is saying, but may feel the presence of what is paying attention to it. In the same way, I am Muslim, that I do not know, I do not forge God in my mind. Nothing in this world of forms can be equal to God. God is pretty much the only value superior to reality after emptiness. And so I cannot tell you that if somebody says, hey bro, why are you existing as a human being right now? I'll be like, hey man, It's like asking 8 billion soldiers in a battlefield, all dressed in human uniform, all armored with an ability to communicate and an ability to receive reality. And you're telling me, yo man, what's the purpose? It's obvious. It's in sight. It is. We are now reaching an era. Every era. I'll be honest. This, you might associate this to my arrogance, because you don't know me. But I will tell you, my preference is a different time period. My style as a soul is a different time period. But because my body is existing in 2025 in history, I must serve now. Do you understand? That means some part of me knows that I belong to a greater game in this world, in this existence. I believe all of us do as humans. And I believe we are an important part of the dictionary of existence, the dictionary of manifestation. Out of all the things that God has created, we got the lottery ticket. We are so blessed. We are so blessed to be in the middle. Sometimes the middle child is blessed. So many people think the middle child in a family is avoided. No, the middle child is blessed in as if he's shielded. Do you understand? He is shielded from the dependence on, let's say, the mother's love for the youngest child and the father's pride for the oldest child. And the middle child is gifted with having access to both contexts. Similarly, the human being is like kinda in the middle. You right now, if I ask you right now, I'll tell you, your intelligence has an ability to envision the most chaotic version of yourself right now. And your intelligence has an ability to envision the most ordered version of yourself right now. And you, whoever you think you are, you've been choosing this. It's a spectrum. It is not a spectrum of abstract identity. It is a recognition that what the human intelligence is to access multiple viewpoints to humanity at the same time. It is a sophisticated compartmentalization protocol. When I say it's okay to exist, when I'm saying that, as when one human being comes and says that to the species, it says, my beloved species, do not dare let the past deny the future's value. I will tell you one of the biggest secrets in life. And may God forgive me if it's wrong, but I truly believe this is one thing that if I could go back in time and tell myself, I still wouldn't, but this would be the closest thing I would say. It is to realize, that means, I'll give you an example. If I just went back in time, I would go to that shy, introverted kid self-exiling himself from reality, and I will tell him, there is a value to you that you will never understand. And that is the greatest factor about us. In 2025, currently, right now, whoever you are listening to me, we are at the transition point of the advancement of intelligent interaction with reality. And the species is at a threshold, it's at a transition point where it's shifting from self-biased storytelling and sociocultural conditioning and nationalistic identity, and it is evolving legit like a Pokemon or whatever, like a Super Saiyan. It is in some sense expanding the horizons of its awareness, and the species is recalibrating with transnationalism, the era after nationalism, which in some sense is speciesism. We're living at that time where there requires to be a global revolution of a responsibility of the species for itself. This life will position you in various states of mind. And it is truly like a video game. My whole point is, folks, you're gonna have different emotions here. You're gonna have days where you might dislike existence and days where you like existence. But I'm trying to tell you, be very conscious and be grateful. Why? Because if you're secular, just consider these facts. 4.5 billion years. The earth, the universe is 13.8 billion years. 4.5 billion years of evolution. The human civilization is like around 300,000 years old. You're now living in a time where in a place where the greatest technology used to be sticks and stones making fire, you now have access to cyberspace. The possibilities and viewpoints you have access to compared to your ancestors are way more supreme. Yet, there is a cost to everything. There is a cost with our natural lifetime's attention going to technology and going to wherever it goes. But I truly believe that the human species is acting like a unit. Do you understand? That means, believe it or not, all the good and evil people are in cahoots. You know? What I mean by that is that this is a system. It's like, for a second, just take away emotions, strip away duality, and just look at what's going on, and you're seeing like this event happening. You're seeing something happening. Now it's happening not based on you, it's happening before even you arrive to the scene. This might be something no one has ever said, but like, to live a life on earth and to die is to kind of be a detective of your own existence. In the journey of the life. The whole point of it is, what they said, like, writing was like how many thousand years old? 6,000 years old. And the possibilities for the future, I'm not going to act like a commercial and be like, yo, the possibilities are endless, but I'll tell you, they are as endless as your effort is. I feel like on some level my soul has entered a world and is just scanning and verifying things before it leaves. That means this might sound strange, but I feel from the beginning of my life till now, like I can totally see how the brain has been acting as a information processor. But who and what has it been processing the information for? It's remarkable. A person can live a life and never wonder why. I have had so many opinions on myself, I can't even count. I've looked at myself from the past, from the future, from the present, from parallel probabilities to the present. I've even wondered about how I look like to other species. I have wondered about if the human perception was beyond the specific range that it is in the electromagnetic spectrum. You don't understand. Like there's this eerie feeling we're all avoiding, but it's one of the most beautiful feelings in life. To realize that the problem still stands. Warriors are not just beings who are solving problems in the outer realms. There are warriors, there are those who in the outer realms, they may be like as gentle as a leaf, but behind their eyes, they are in some sense tornadoes shaking realities. We have reached a point in history where there are certain aspects about ourselves we cannot ignore. And I will tell you, do you know what the single most motivational thing in history has been? And if somebody says truth, I'll be like, yeah, but I would say something man-made. It is the idea of a narrative. That means you right now think you're defined by your past, but those are instances of your mind. You are defined by the story you're telling yourself right now. And I want to just tell you the whole point of the lecture, it's okay to exist, means there is so many ways that your own story can be retold. That means there's a view I have on myself, there's a view you have on me. If 8 billion people saw me, there would be 8 billion different views on me. Do you know what I mean? If AI could generate it, it could be like endless views. Do you know I have a value in regards to me existing to myself? I have a value in regards to me existing to my family members. I have a value in me existing in regards to society. I have a value in me existing as part of a nation. And now I'm saying, yo, we also have value as just realizing from the beginning, it's one species in a world room. That means I'll tell you what's funny. Right now in the educational system, there's the concept of bullying. In current society, there's the concept of violence, and people abusing others. And let me tell you what's freaking hilarious. In an advanced civilization, the responsibility levels would be so high. The presence of the true energetic responsibility levels of the being would be so high that you would in some sense realize any time you waste on making the world inefficient is time that you wasted on that you could have been used to make the world efficient. If somebody says, what do you regret, Mr. Within, from like if you could go into the past and change one thing, I would probably change, it wouldn't be possible because the technology was limited at the time. For me, it's not going to be possible, but I am trying to tell you that you can never know your true value. That's what I'm trying to say. There's a reason in the Holy Quran, and I'm Muslim, I treat Islam as the Holy Quran as source code. I treat truth as the main operating system and the system admin as the truth of the operating system. You don't understand. Right now, there's people on this planet, they're just trying to live for their retirement on Earth as they grow old. And there are souls on this planet who are like, all right, I noticed the simulation. What's up with this? And those souls, they're looking for something that is priceless. It is the original reality. That means imagine you were in a fake Earth. I don't want to like infuse you with scientific sci-fi awe, but I'll tell you this, that truly there are mysteries staring at us that anybody can act like an expert. Anybody can. In an unknown, changing world, anybody can, in some sense, open their own theater. But the point of it, I think, it's as if there's things my heart knows that my mind hasn't remembered yet. If somebody told me when I was young, hey man, you're gonna grow up and talk a lot, you shy, introverted kid, you know, I would in some sense be too shy to even laugh in front of them. Okay, man, I don't think I was actually that fucking shy, but you know, but it would at least be a smile and more of a louder laughter internally. There are so, just like you can hold an object and look at it from different angles, you can revalue yourself in so many different ways. And the problem is not that, oh man, you're just defined by your past view. No, the archetypes of your past are not only present to everything that's present now, but it's like they're all, the possibilities of the future are there. That means I can identify like with the year 1991, or I can identify with the year. Think of it this way. Right now my brain can 100% identify with to some degree I can identify with the year 1991. I can visualize it. Okay? But if somebody's like, can you visualize 2,991? I'd be like, like if it was a spear throwing contest, I think I can throw a spear that's close. You know? Whoever you are, whatever you are, to be honest, the title of this episode is not just for humans, it is for all creations of the Creator. It is for all simulated beings. Whatever you are, it is okay, in the sense that a garden has many flowers in it, and its beauty is not limited to just how one flower blooms. And a poetic way of acknowledging reality, a beautiful way of acknowledging reality, is that we are privileged to be able to walk in God's garden of existence. It is not the best garden and it is not the worst garden. It's like personally, a part of me has already given permission for the ultimate truth to reveal itself. But to be honest, the recognition of its value is that it's too majestic beyond conception. I am sitting here telling you it's okay to exist, and what am I saying that to? I'm saying that to a being long time in the making. Do you know all your ancestors lived so you could breathe today's air and in some sense develop the world? You know, I said earlier life is like a video game. I'm gonna do my best to explain it like that right now. I think a video game is a system, and a system has elements, and you got to look at the elements in that system. Think of it in the simplicity of, if there was a word, you want to look at the letters that create the word. You don't want to break the system, but you want to be able to notice how the system is functioning. Now, life is like a game, is like a system. So let's say a system is like a game. Okay, and right now, with the moment you wake up in the day, in the morning, you're logging in to this multiplayer game. Okay, and the only difference it has from a multiplayer online game is that it's three-dimensional. It's not 2D screen pixelated. Instead of being made of pixels, it is made of the periodic table. And in some sense, like a game, you gain experience as you move in the map. And just like a video game, there's someone sitting behind the computer screen, and using the mouse and using the keyboard to move the character in the computer screen, And I feel that in the same way, you can see the metaphor of the soul using, in some sense, poetically, the inner self and the outer self. It's like the hardware is your body, the software is the perception of reality. That which is using, in some sense, life is not limited to what life is perceived as. So I'm saying that some part of you playing a multiplayer online video game on your computer, on your table, it is very similar that the character in the video game is being moved by you, but it is not completely you. Okay, that means it's a simulation of your will. In classical illuminationist theory, the view is God is the light of lights, the soul is the shadow of God, and in some sense, the spirit is the shadow of the soul. And when we play a video game character, It's as if we're this soul, and in our shadow, in the shadow of our soul, we are animating the light of this simulated character we identify as with the video game. Okay? Now, if it's a video game, some video games are just the same map repeating, but traditional video games had levels to them. And I'm going to speak to you right now as if you're in a multiplayer online game and there's 8 billion video users, players logging into this game on and off, right? And they're all going through the same map and like the same quests, okay? Now, what are those? If Earth was a video game, what are these levels? And some person has dared share an opinion on this. So I think it's notable to hear it. Childhood is tutorial of the video game. You usually have guides like parents, and they teach you, and eventually you go and interact with reality, and childhood is the tutorial phase, you know? Most children are living lives where the consequence of their actions roots back to a higher archetype than themselves, their parents, for example. But after a point, a person reaches a place where you begin to realize that in order to know who you truly are, you must also experience yourself in moments of solitude. There must be moments in your life where you just separate yourself from everything and look at yourself as if it's you and the sky and the edgelessness of it all. Level 1 of the Earth game, after you complete the tutorials, and that completing the tutorials is pretty much you can be an individual on this planet somehow. Doesn't have to be perfect, but you can, just like your car doesn't have to be perfect, it just has to get you to work. Similarly, you just have to be functional. You should be able to, let's say by the age of 18, capably, consciously be able to drive a vehicle like the vehicle of yourself, independently. Okay? That's how this era in history is acting. Now, level 1, and okay, let me now change it, say it this way. So you're an awareness, you open your eyes in a world as some sort of intelligence, and they're telling you it's a game, and you're trying to wonder about the levels of this game. Level 1 of the Earth game is the level of self. Everybody starts in this level. To be honest, I don't want to even say childhood is a tutorial. Let's say from the beginning of your life, you enter level 1. Level 1 of the Earth game is existing as a self. So you have to be able to solve the problems of yourself. You have to, in some sense, experience the problems and the solutions of yourself. And once you reach the point of finding your most advanced self, your most advanced self would be a being, like how do you know you've completed level 1? You can notice what is more important than yourself. That's it. You can notice what is outside of yourself. That means if your whole childhood was based on your emotions, your thoughts, your meanings, your values, your views, and how life was not paying attention to you. Do you know? Once you complete level 1, you become a human being that no longer has any problems. No problem of yourself, individual self, is a big deal anymore. And what happens? So you complete level 1. The signs of it is emotional maturity. That means you're aware of your own emotions, but you're also aware others are emotional beings too. They have emotions too. Do you know? Same with your thoughts. That means you realize you had certain thoughts, you had certain visions, you had certain dreams. Others have also the same thing. So pretty much, if you look at how the human being is positioned in the video game also, so you have certain customizable abilities, but you didn't design the video game. If you remain idle in the video game, it gives you an error. Level 1 is the self, folks. That's it. It's the self. All right, guys. I need to actually end this talk. I need to take this talk to a conclusion right now. Um, as abrupt as that sounded, but pretty much I think I'll try to see if I can pinpoint the important ideas here. See, ladies and gentlemen, my whole initial effort was that there's so many human beings going through so many different states of mind, and some of them are going to be in dark states of mind where they're going to feel nobody understands them and they're left alone, not knowing what to do, and they might be burdening themselves in some sense of trying to figure everything out all at once, and at the same time maybe judging themselves in a way that they it's just without realizing that it's just one frame of their life they're seeing, and their life is an incredible film that just goes on, and who you are changes, and the people and the variables in life come and go and change. You pretty much open your eyes as an awareness to the world. The perception is accessed, and in some sense it's divided between known variables and unknown variables. The world is an unknown event. We're using knowledge to figure it out and try to relate to it and try to in some sense understand what is truly going on. The species has made progress, but there's something strange happening at the same time, that you always have an ability to envision the future and never let the past and the present deny the future, for they have no right. The future is where they're going anyways. The nature of reality is simply that, beyond the stories we tell ourselves, the world's, that means if you look at any moment of life and you could put it in a ratio of known variables and unknown variables, I'm telling you, there can always come new unknown variables, and when those new unknown variables appear, the system has to update, which is a strange way that even though we're living in houses right now, our minds are living like nomads in regards to the ideological train of the terrain of the linguistic simulation we're in shifting. So I want to say it's okay to exist. It is your right as a being. It is also the gift of the past to the present, whatever you are now. But the whole point of it is, why can we behind our eyes in 2025 see visions and probabilities to the future? If I tell you right now, imagine a flying car, you can. But do we have a flying car right now in 2025? No, we don't have like a legit one, right? So at the same time, I'm saying, like, we right now, nobody's caring about like what sort of laws are we going to have for flying cars in the sky. Do you know what's going to happen if a car breaks down in the sky? Do you know what I mean? There's so much, like, there's a future of it that we can envision even though it hasn't come about. So for me, the most important clue is you have 8 billion organisms on a planet that look like each other. They're all wondering about their future, and they're just not noticing that their future is everyone's future. Do you understand? It is the progress of our species. It is the legacy of mankind. It's like these words should give you goosebumps in realizing that your value system should not just be based on what you see around you, that this world has depth to it, that they lied to you when they said the surface of the ocean was the whole ocean. And so it is not only okay to exist, you have eyes that nobody else has. And if you were in an advanced civilization right now in the future, the advanced civilization would encourage you, would ask you to gift it with the sight that you only had. And the way, to be honest, they're like, yo, man, who are the geniuses in the world? I'd be like those who cared about it to the degree that they became truly aware of it. And they began to realize this verb is under higher management. That means if somebody's like Mr.Within, what's a higher, superior contextual ideological system, than, like, for example, natural laws of like nature, And I'd be like, we're left with divine command. Divine command means there's higher management. That means this world is so advanced and the species has to unite. And how you do it is you go look in the mirror and you wonder, why do I look like a member of this species? What is the point of all of us having mouths and ears and hands to, in some sense, communicate and rebuild, and not just rebuild, to build an advanced civilization while we're alive? I have, like, how they say there's legends? There's like the legends of, Achilles, the legend of Hercules, the legend of, in Persian culture, Rostam. In other cultures, there's the legend of, whatever. In nowadays comic culture, the legend of Spider-Man. Do you know what I mean? So these are in some sense ideas of an abstract nature that can in some sense animate. Do you know? And so it's as if now I am that person in 2025 that his mind has been shocked, not shocked, but struck by the fascination of the future. The future is genius. It is genius multiplied by unfathomability. And you right now as a human being can choose to value yourself based on your past, based on your present, or truly based on your future. There's so many things you can do. The problem with life is not about, nobody can say, I don't know what to do. The issue is there's infinite options of what you can do. The issue is, which one should I do? And that depends on how much you listen to your heart. and how much you truly acknowledge reality as simulated or not. For me, let me tell you what it is. I was like an awareness in this world who's like, wait a minute, in front of my eyes, a simulated elemental reality, behind my eyes, a simulated linguistic reality, also deeper behind my eyes, and awareness to simulated inner and outer reality simultaneously. And this awareness ultimately, if you tell me, do souls seek knowledge at their core? I'll be like, no, they seek a home. Every person's soul is seeking a hidden home. I shouldn't say a hidden home. It's like a simulated being that has an original memory of being created by the system admin, but yet the soul is still a mystery. And for me, you don't understand. There's a strange, it's not even human. It's like it's not even any entity attribute. It's like there is a romanticism with the awareness to reality and perception and the true source of being. I don't know how to say it. It's like my heart knows that this world is a simulation, but it also knows that the original has to be there before the simulation can be. It's as if like the human intelligence is influenced by causal energy and effectual energy. But anyways, I'm saying there's so many ways to look at life, and there's so many ways that the moment can have value, that never in this life think it's not okay to exist. Sometimes you're in environments, well, I'll tell you as a Muslim, a very interesting view. In Islam, there's this view, very profound view, that before all of us were born in this world, on earth, the souls were in a place called Alam al-Arwah. And Alam, I think it's the state in the earth where Al-Mithal is, we get close to. But anyways, sorry, Al-Mithal is something else. Alam al-Arwah, which translates as the world of souls. And in the world of souls, souls of the same rank, in some sense could acknowledge each other. Where souls of the same rank knew each other. So on this planet, you might be either outranked for where you are, overranked for where you are, or just with those who are just of a different rank. And rank doesn't mean that they're better or worse. It just means they're made for different positions. If you notice existence, everything that has a different design has a different purpose. Nature of reality is fascinating. Anyways, I'm going to end the talk here. Thank you for listening. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. In the name of God, the most benevolent, the most merciful. A'udhu billah shaitan rajim. May God protect us from the cursed one and unnecessary ignorance. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. All praise due to the Lord of the worlds. Rabbi Gfirli, my Lord forgive me. My Lord forgive my species for all the sins that we're conscious and unconscious of. Rabbi Gfirli. And finally, Ihdina Sirat al-Mustaqim. May God guide us to the direct path. May humanity surpass its greatest challenges through divine genius. There's a greater system administration going on, where there's an existential system, simulated system, where there's mods, and then there's the system admin, which is beyond the world. The reason Muslims one of the reasons Muslims acknowledge that Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, was the final messenger, and pretty much what Prophet Abraham, peace be upon him, started, Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, was the answer to Prophet Abraham's prayers. Prophet Muhammad introduced to the human species that nothing, that truth can have no partner. This meant truth cannot be any object or subject or even any form. And this is why the Holy Quran is a divine book, because its language points to that which is the incomprehensible original for any simulated entity's processing. It is okay to exist, and it is okay to live for the greatness of reality. We are here to figure it out together and to advance forth and usher in the greatest advanced civilizations known to man. An advanced civilization is the birthright of the future generations. An advanced civilization is the greatest invention of mankind. And the greatest act of mankind is to acknowledge the highest power, sincerely, and to be honest, because why not work with original data? Anyways, thank you for listening. La ilaha illallah. There is no God but God. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. All praise due to the Lord of the worlds. All existence, all simulated form in reality knows that which has allowed it to be here. You don't understand. We're at the mercy of a greatness beyond our eyes. Thank you for listening. And let us not close the skies with emptiness when they were present with the light of lights, with the majesty of the source of being. It's incredible where we are. And the whole point of Mr. Within is to activate civilizational intelligence of a species. Thank you for listening. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim.